Hi, my name's Veronica, and I'm on a mission to help people get closer to themselves, to cultivate self-love and self-awareness, to get closer to other people and develop compassion. But most of all, I want to contribute to people on this planet discovering their potential without being blocked by self-judgment and fear, self-loathing, all things that I've profoundly struggled with and on some level still do struggle with. And I just want to share my journey with others, and I hope to inspire others to overcome their limitations like I've done. And the video that you're about to see is not what I intended it to be. So what it originally was supposed to be was a cataloging of my process of facing a fear. And really that is what it is, but it's become so much more than that. So just as a backstory, in February, I created this thing called the 30-Day Self-Love Challenge. It's a 30-day video program, so you get a task a day, and it comes with this Facebook group, which is just the most amazing, loving space. Like, I can't believe that I've brought these people together. They're so amazing. It's so safe in there. And day 28 of the challenge was to make a video of yourself and watch it and watch your own self-judgment and then share it with others. So what I did back when the challenge first started was I decided that I was going to do the challenge with everybody so that I could not only experience how it's helping people, but I could experience changes within myself. Well, when it came to day 28, it didn't do it. I didn't do it. And the reason I told myself I didn't do it was because I had made 30 of these, right? Like, I had made this entire video challenge, 30 days of videos that I watched, that I shared with people. So obviously I'd done it, right? And I felt very different about my ability to make videos from that challenge. And I had changed. I'd experienced these changes, I'd experienced all this growth, so I didn't need more, right? Well, I realized, now it's about 4 months later, and I realized that I'm really out of integrity with myself and really out of integrity with the group for doing that. So I set forth on this journey to make a video of myself doing something really scary, make a video of myself singing, and then watch it and share it with the group. Terrifying. And what you're about to see was originally intended to be kind of a little documentary about me going through that process. And I thought it was going to be like 3 videos, right? So the video beforehand, when I'm really scared and I have all these limiting beliefs, and then the second video when I do the singing, right? And then the third video where I feel so much better and I've learned all these lessons, right? And that's not how it turned out. And it turned out better. It turned out more real, it turned out more human, and I've really changed profoundly as a person from this experience. This has absolutely changed my life, and I hope that by sharing this, it changes yours too, because I think something really important happened to me throughout these days, and I've just found a deeper appreciation for myself as a human being, and I hope that that's what this does for you. I hope this brings you closer to yourself and closer to others. And I know it's long, it's so much longer than I thought that it would be, but stick with it because it's so worth it. It was worth it for me, and I know it'll be worth it for you. Okay, enjoy. So this is the video that I'm making before sitting down to sing, and then not only watching the singing video, but sharing it with the 30-Day Self-Love Challenge community, and eventually sharing it as part of this whole video series. And I guess there's all these layers of feelings because there's all these layers of what's scary. Sharing the video with the self-love community, I mean, that's scary because I'm putting a video of myself singing out to people, which I've never, ever done before. But then watching it myself is so much scarier. Like, it's scarier for me to watch a video of myself than it is for me to show others, because people are, especially people in the tribe, I mean, they're really nice, they're really kind, and they're gonna say nice things, but I know once I see it, then maybe some of those delusions that I have about myself as a singer will be gone. And that's really the essence of what's happening in my head. There's these two tapes. You know, the one tape is like, you're so bad, you're so terrible, like, why are you even thinking about doing this? And you know, as I think about it, as I even talk about it, like, it just brings tears to my eyes. You know, it's so mean, and it's just been playing that, you know, ever since I was a kid. It's just like, oh, you're so bad, and you're so bad at this, and who do you even think you are doing this? And you know, I played the same tape. You know, before I put my book out, it was like the same tape going over and over and over. And the first time that I really went public speaking with my message, like in Toronto, like, it just over and over, you know. And when I had my meetups, it just kept going. And that voice, like that specific voice, it's just it's like one of those people that you spend a lot of time around until you realize how neurotic and negative their outlook on the world is, and you get a little distance from them, and then maybe you see them every once in a while, and it still kind of hurts to be around the neurotic, negative person, but you know that there's something else out there. And I guess that's what this is really like. It's been a while, actually, since I felt this. Making the videos for the 30-day self-love challenge, I was definitely hearing that voice at first, but that was months and months ago. So this has been a really unique experience to get these voices back, and it's really inspiring to choose to continue despite those voices. And it's really the reason that I'm doing this, you know, because I do have this tendency to keep that under wraps. Somebody sent me an email once on or a message on Facebook, and they said that to me, and they said, you know, it seems like you've been through a lot, and it seems like, you know, you're so authentic and you're so open and you come out that way, but it seems like you really hide yourself when you're experiencing bad things, and then you just write about them later. And at first I was like, no, I don't do that. But I guess I do, you know, I do, and I do recognize that. So that's part of the reason I'm putting this out there, to kind of dispel this myth that people who do courageous things, or people who put themselves out there, are fearless, or they're more talented, or they're more brave, or, you know, whatever, that they're special in some sort of way. And you know, I'm not Beyonce. Like, I don't know how Beyonce feels or how really famous singers feel, but I know what I feel, and I know what I've felt with everything that I've put out there, that people have said, oh, you're so brave. And I guess this is what brave feels like. It feels like just listening to those really fearful thoughts in your head, just rolling around and around, and, you know, kind of feeling the hurt, but choosing to go on anyway, you know. And I hope that by the video that I make after what I do, then that'll show you kind of some of the effects of facing up to those voices. And, you know, the other thing that's going on in my head, which is a really interesting thought pattern too, is, oh, but what if it's like amazing? You know, what if without the use of a professional microphone and a recording studio, I'm just gonna sound so crisp and just amazing? And what if people are just gonna start falling all over themselves and be like, oh my God, you're the singer we've been waiting for, and then just whisk me away to Hollywood? And it's really interesting because I watched that thought pattern and I asked myself, like, do I really want that? Do I really want Hollywood? Because I feel like I've been working on, you know, building my passions and doing what I want. And if I really wanted Hollywood, wouldn't I have gone for it? And the moment that I really look that thought pattern in the eye, like, it disappears. It's like, oh wait, never mind, you know. But then it comes back, and so there's this really weird tangle. And I got into this really strange tangle today where I was like, oh God, I'm not gonna be good enough, I'm not gonna be good enough. And then I said, well, what if I am, you know? What if it is really good? And then if it is really good, then what if it's really amazing and everybody thinks it's really great? And then I started getting this fear of, oh my God, what if the one video is really amazing, and then I have to be out in front of people and I have to do it again, and then I won't be good enough, and then I'll suck on the second time around. And it's just this terrible trap, you know. And I think the only sane way out is to look inside my head and say, you know, those are just thoughts, right? Those are just thoughts that I get. And doing something like this, it's not the scariest thing in the world. I'm not climbing Mount Everest. I'm just singing a little song and making a video of it. But it's scary to me, and it's kind of like all my fears are like dust on a mattress, you know. And by saying that I'm going to do this thing, I'm just like hitting the mattress, and there's all this dust in the air, and I'm just looking at the dust. And I hope that me being really honest about the dust that's in my head. There's a saying that my dad likes to use, that there's like cockroaches in your head. So these are the cockroaches in my head to do with this. Maybe you can see that, you know, everybody's got them, right? And it's not a good enough reason not to do something. And yeah, that's about it. It's just a few minutes until I'm going to get this video filmed, and I wasn't even gonna film myself right before this because I just figured I'd be a total mess, and I'm not, and at the same time I am. I'm just feeling, I mean, my heart's going faster, and there's this cloud of uncertainty inside of my head, and at the same time there's this energy that's being made out of all of those fearful thoughts that is excitement, and I'm just choosing to kind of channel that excitement and not get any thoughts inside of that excitement about, well, I hope it turns into this, or I hope it goes into that. And really, the whole purpose of this is to be as real as possible, and I'm really trying to do that. I'm really trying to stay centered and be as real as I can be in the middle of idealism and fear. I just feel like I'm running through this tunnel, and there's fear on one side and there's idealism on the other, and both are like covered in sharp spikes, and I'm just trying to go in the middle way and not really fall into either, because really they're just big lies, you know, it's just a big illusion. So I'm trying really hard to do that, and just taking deep breaths, and yeah, so I'm excited, I'm scared, and I hope this is worth it for you as much as it is for me. Okay? Yeah. Anytime now. So this is the part where there's supposed to be a singing video. What's actually been going on for the last maybe 30 minutes is I was trying to set up the camera. It was really awkward to try to set up the camera on my own because Jamie wasn't here. So I'm trying to like do it on my own, and like maybe I could film this video while he's not here. And I kind of had myself in this weird position against the wall, and it just feels all wrong, you know. I kept doing these takes of it, and it was just really hot, and my back starts hurting, and I didn't sleep very well last night, and I just keep feeling this resistance in my head, and I try to do so many takes, and it's just like the discouragement just coming in with all of them, and then of course I watch them to make it even worse. So I'm just feeling super bad right now. Just feel really discouraged, and I'm just not gonna keep filming it today. So I've decided to save it for another day. And a part of me is like, did I do this on purpose? You know, like I know I didn't get a good amount of sleep last night. Like it's the first time that I didn't fall right asleep in I don't even know how long. And my back really hurt today, which also hasn't happened in I don't know how long. So why today? You know, like of all days today, I'm like, today's the day I'm gonna do it, and my voice just doesn't feel right, my body doesn't feel right, and then I keep doing the takes, and then I watch them all, and it's just bizarre, and now I'm sort of feeling really bad, and then I'm sort of feeling really bad about feeling really bad, because I feel like I've put myself here. You know, there's a way that I feel when I just sing on my own, and it just feels open and it feels free, and if I try to sing and my voice doesn't work out, I stop singing. Like that's what I do on my own. And it's just bizarre that I kept doing it, and just kept shoving that in my face. You know, I think that there's some real limitations, some real fearful thoughts going on there. I mean, I know I used to only weigh myself when I felt fat. And I mean, I haven't used a scale in forever now, but it sort of seems like that's what it's like. You know, I'd pick a day to film on, then I don't feel well, and I really didn't want to make this video because I mean, I just feel so crappy right now, like I can't even smile, but I feel like I had to document this, and also document that like my plans have been broken. The plans for making this video are just all out the window. This is totally out of sequence and out of whatever, but somehow it feels like this is how it has to be, because you know, I think that the story of I make a plan and then I'm really scared and then I do it really well the first time that I try, like that's not how anything has gone. So I think it would have been a disservice to you watching this if it had worked out that way. So as you can see, I'm wearing a towel. Jamie came home to find me very upset, and we're just pretty much have gone in the pool to try to cool off my mood and my feelings, and I think I'm just going to take the rest of the day off and do some emotional first aid, and maybe try tomorrow if it feels right, or maybe give myself a little time off of this. But you know, I'm still going to do it, and now I know about these little self-sabotage mechanisms that only want me to do it when I'm not ready to do it. So that's that. I hope you're enjoying my vulnerability, because it's just very painful. I'm glad I'm telling you this. I really am. Thanks for watching. So it's been about a week since I made my last video, in which I was pretty upset. I took really good care of myself since then, and I haven't actually sang since. And I'm kind of looking at it as a pulled muscle, you know, like if I work out too hard and I injure a muscle, then I have to take a break, right? I have to kind of back off, and it doesn't mean anything about what I'm capable of. It doesn't mean that yoga's bad or that cardio's bad. It just means that I pushed myself too far, and now I have to let it heal, and then I can try again. And it would be bad for me to go and try to use my muscle that got torn before it's healed. And I feel like that about singing right now. It's like I tore my self-confidence by moving so far out of my comfort zone, and I don't find that it's affected my confidence in other areas of my life, but it's definitely affected my singing. You know, songs come on, and I think about singing to them, and then it doesn't really come, and I'm deciding not to push it. So I'm leaving that open. You know, hopefully the next video I make will be the video that I've wanted to make all along. But, you know, if it's not, if I have to try again, then that's okay. You know, it's a slow process, and I've felt this process many times, and it's okay for it to take as long as it takes. And I have no doubt that I'm on my way, that I'm healing, that it's getting better, and I think I'll be ready soon. Okay, thanks for sticking with me through this. Regrets collect like old friends, here to relive your darkest moments. I can see no way, I can see no way. And all of the ghouls come out to play, and every demon wants its pound of flesh. But I like to keep some things to myself. I like to keep my issues strong. It's always darkest before the dawn. And I've been a fool and I've been blind. I can never leave the past behind. I can see no way, I can see no way. I'm always dragging that horse around. Our love is pastured such a mournful sound. Tonight I'm gonna bury that horse in the ground. 'Cause I like to keep my issues drawn. It's always darkest before the dawn. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Ooh, whoa, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Ooh, whoa, and it's hard to dance with a devil on your back, so shake him off. Ooh, whoa. And I am done with my graceless heart. Tonight I'm gonna cut it out and then restart. I like to keep my issues drawn. It's always darkest before the dawn. Whoa, whoa. And damned if I do, and damned if I don't. It's a shot in the dark and the end of my road. And I'm ready to suffer and I'm ready to hold. Sip drinks in the dark at the end of my road. 'Cause looking for heaven, found the devil in me. And looking for heaven, found the devil in me. So why the hell, what had happened to me? Whoa, whoa.
So how do you feel after your performance?
Well, like I screwed up a bunch of words and like I just don't care. But it feels good, you know, it just feels really good. I feel really sweaty, and I guess I do hear these, I guess I kind of hear the self-judgmental thoughts, but they just seem so little and like so weak, like when they pull up the curtain on the Wizard of Oz and it doesn't matter. It's like I screwed up the words and it didn't matter. Like who cares what the words are, you know, like this was really hard, just so hard to like do it, and I'm like, whoa, I did it, and now I'm just sweaty and happy, and I'm just really happy. I don't look happy right now, but I'm very happy, and yeah, so I guess I'm just gonna sit in this happiness because the thought of like watching it is like terrible, but this is so just liberating, and you know, it's like these moments and then you remember them and then you know that you're never going to be the same, and it's really good. So thank you for being here in this bathroom. Did you know we're in a bathroom? There's a toilet next to me, so not everything is as it seems. Thank you. It's about a minute after I just made the video. I've had my first epiphany, and it's pretty major, and I just realized that I'm not a professional singer. I haven't really been trained by anybody ever. I mean, I took some vocal lessons and kind of worked out for a bit, and then it didn't because I had a confidence problem which overwhelmed my ability to learn the mechanics. And I guess I just realized that the confidence problem was actually interfering with my ability to learn the mechanics, but I haven't learned the mechanics, so I don't know what I was really expecting. And when I watched the video, like, I'm not expecting to see Florence from Florence and the Machine. I mean, I don't have the same vocal capacity that she does because she's been practicing it for longer, because that's what human potential is. You know, you have to practice things and then you get better at them. That's how everything works. People aren't just good or bad at things. You have to practice things to be good at them. So now that I'm over this confidence block, and I mean, I'm probably not over it forever, you know, I'm gonna have to keep struggling with it, but now that I've kind of made it over this stump, I just realized there's so much work to do if I want to sing. But now I can actually do it without being stuck at this, oh, I can't sing in front of myself, can't sing in front of people thing. So that's really good. Very good. So I just watched the video, and it was real life. It wasn't the worst thing ever, and it wasn't the best thing ever, and it was just real. And now I think I'm going to be looking back at the other videos that I made before and wondering what that was all about, and getting further and further away from that feeling of crippling fear about it. And I know that's happened to me before, that something was, I mean, that happened to me with makeup. I used to not be able to even picture my life without wearing makeup, and then now I know it felt really bad, and I can empathize with people who are going through it, but unless I have a person right there in front of me who's going through it and I'm feeling that empathy, it's hard to pull that feeling out of nowhere. And I can feel that happening right now. I can feel all of those judgments become more realistic, constructive criticism, because if somebody doesn't put all their time and energy towards learning to sing, unless you're a prodigy, and that's not anything to aspire to be, but unless you put all your time and energy into something, then you can't really expect to be very good at it. And I really do believe that. I mean, I put a lot of time and energy into writing, and I'm proud of my writing, and I have a good relationship with my writing, but I don't really put enough time into singing, into performing, into taking videos of myself, to expect myself to be an expert at it. So I think this has been a very important experience for me. And watching the video made me realize just how, well, how ridiculous it is to not want to see a video of yourself doing something that you're doing because that's what you look like. And it was really hard for me to grasp this concept of taking videos of myself, just being myself, because that's what I look like. It would just make me feel gross to see the video or to hear my voice, and it's just gotten easier and easier. So now to see a video of myself singing, it's very different. So that's good. And I shared the video with the group, and I know they're going to be really supportive. So it was actually a lot harder to watch it myself than to send the video to the self-love group, because the tribe is just an amazing set of people. And they're just so loving, and I know they'll be nice regardless of the quality of my singing in there. So now I guess I'm excited to see how I feel tomorrow, and how I feel while I'm making this whole video, while I'm compiling all these parts of it, and seeing if any more lessons come down the way. And I'm really glad that, the fear, I was talking about the wall of fear and the wall of idealism, and they're both covered in spikes. And now that I've had the direct experience of, just making this video, doing what it is that I said I was going to do, suddenly I'm not running into those walls anymore. I'm just kind of stuck in reality for now, and it feels very good. It feels real, so it's a good thing. So I woke up this morning with a major vulnerability hangover, just feeling very drained, and like, oh my God, did I really do that? And I posted the video in the group last night, and they've been so supportive. They're so supportive and so loving and just amazing. Still, my mind is just looking for these patterns. Like, I watched A Beautiful Mind the other day, and I don't know if you've seen the movie, but these patterns just like come out to him, and he discards the rest. And that's kind of what my mind is doing. It's trying to find these patterns of like, oh, they're just being nice. You're actually really crappy at this, and they didn't like it at all, and they're just trying to be nice about the fact that you did something brave. And I was trying for a little while to be like, well, I'm not trying to be good. I am trying to be brave, but the judgment is just so intense that I think I'm just gonna sit in it for a while and just have it. I guess it really is a vulnerability hangover. That's how it feels. And they say an alcohol hangover is when you don't have enough water. So I'm just gonna assume that a vulnerability hangover is when you don't have enough love and acceptance. And I'm gonna go just love myself and be nice and drink coffee. It's been a rough morning, but I'll get through this. I always do. Thanks for watching. Here I am, over the vulnerability hangover, and now I'm just feeling responsible. I'm feeling a responsibility to the world, I guess, and to myself, and that's fueled by this really deep feeling of compassion that I got while I was kind of sorting through the feelings that I had had this whole time, I reflected on what I expected this process to be. You know, this was not what I expected it to be. To be honest, when I first started making these videos, I thought I was going to show you how I was scared beforehand, how I did it, and how it was imperfect, and how even though it was imperfect, it would make a difference on my life, and how it would help me be more fearless, and how your fearful thoughts don't represent your capacity to do something. And I've realized that it's been very different than that. This whole process has been very different and a lot more familiar. I mean, I've been through this before. I've felt the vulnerability hangovers. I've tried something once and failed, and then gotten really down on myself and tried again. And I've struggled with fear and idealism before, and I realized that when I first set out to make this video and share this with the world, I had this idea in my head about what this was supposed to be. And I've realized that this idea, it's a TV idea. It's the American Idol TV idea. And I think that's really key to what I'm going through right now and what this means to me, because I think that's what we all do. You know, we get these ideas from TV about how we're supposed to be, and we have these stories in our heads about what's appropriate. And I think the idealism comes from this, you know, they go and show you the person's family and all of their struggles, and they tell you they're scared, and then they go and they blow the judges away, and then they're going to Hollywood, you know, that's the idealism. And then you've got the fear where there's a person who is just getting up there on stage and singing, and then, you know, they get booed off and everybody tells them that they're crap, and sometimes it's really embarrassing for them. Sometimes they get made fun of and have record labels made of their names. I don't know if you remember the William Hung phenomenon from when I was much younger, and it's not real, you know, it's not real. And it is this entire journey of fear and idealism, and that's what happens on TV, you know, and that's what happens in our culture constantly. I mean, there's this culture of judgment, there's this culture of people making stories about how things are supposed to be, and I think we've got these stories inside of us. And I realized that all of my self-judgment, all of those voices that I was hearing telling me, you know, what if you're not good enough, or what if you're really amazingly, spontaneously good, and then you get whisked away to Hollywood, you know, that's not me. That's my conditioning speaking to me. That's what I've been taught to be. That's what I've been told I am. That's not me. And really going through and doing what I wanted to do, regardless of those voices, it's brought me in touch with myself, who I really am, you know, which is just a person who, even if I can't do it on key, I deserve to sing, you know? And I guess that makes me feel really emotional, and not just for myself. It just makes me feel that for everybody, you know, like we all deserve to sing, even if we can't sing on key, even if we can't remember the words, even if we can't make up the right dance moves, and even if we're too loud or if our voices crack, everybody deserves to sing. Everybody deserves to just do what they feel is right. Everybody deserves to express themselves. And when I look at the foundation of Western culture, it's supposed to be freedom of speech, it's supposed to be freedom of expression, but you know, it's just not, because you're only as free to express yourself as you look like the people on television while you're doing it. You're only as free to express yourself as you can make a romantic story about it. And there's no romance here, because romance is idealistic. You know, it's not, life's not a nightmare, and life's not a dream. Life is just life. And I think it really stands in our way that we've got these voices in our head telling us that we're supposed to be a certain way, when we already are a certain way. I already am a certain way. And I went through the same process of really heavy self-judgment and being really clouded and being unable to move on about my physical appearance. I mean, I think you might know this from my story, but I struggled with eating disorders. I profoundly struggled with anorexia, I struggled with bulimia, I struggled with chewing and spitting. Like, I would just go through all of these different methods of, you know, so I would spend a week eating only 400 calories, and then I'd spend another week trying to exercise everything off, then I'd stick my fingers down my throat, then I'd chew my food and spit it out, and it wasn't healthy. You know, I was thinking about it all the time, pervasively. I didn't like who I saw in the mirror. You know, I would dye my hair, I would wear lots of makeup, I just didn't want to be myself. And I was trying to be someone else. You know, for a while I was trying to be Jennifer Aniston, then I was trying to be the girl from Evanescence. You know, I was trying to be these different people, and I just hated who I saw in the mirror. But who I saw in the mirror for the longest time wasn't me. I just saw myself in relation to what I was supposed to be. You know, I saw what my self-judgment told me to see. I saw what these thoughts were trying to convince me to see. There's all these thoughts that say, you're not enough this, or you're too much this, or you're too much that. So that's what I saw. And because of that, that really limited my ability to express myself, to get in touch with people. I mean, I got to the point where I was extremely suicidal, and I was hearing voices, and nobody should get to that point. And I didn't have that happen because there's a chemical imbalance in my head. You know, regardless of what the doctor might have said, I don't have a chemical imbalance, and I didn't have a chemical imbalance. I had a problem with believing my self-judging thoughts, the self-judging thoughts that I had learned from the media and the people around me, from this reality that we're all continuing to create by the way that we speak to one another, by the shows that we watch, by the things that we say about the people on those shows, by the way that we continue to interact with one another and reinforce these judgments that keep us small. And what I feel really responsible for right now is creating a different kind of world. You know, this journey that I've been through on just making this singing video, I mean, it's just a tiny little video, you know, it's just a video. But the making of that video was so difficult, and it just breaks my heart how many people can't make the video yet. And it breaks my heart how there are people who still continue to put on the makeup, still continue to try to earn enough money and get enough status symbols just to appear to have it all together, who are constantly fleeing from these thoughts that they have that they're too dumb, so they have to keep looking smart, and it gets in our way. You know, the self-judgment is orienting us onto a goal. You know, that's the point of your mind, is to set goals and go towards them. But when the goal is something that's completely fractured from who you're meant to be, then instead of being born and then spending your life getting closer and closer and closer to people, getting wiser and wiser, getting more connected with nature, more connected with yourself, coming closer to your dreams, coming closer to exploring your inner talents and giving those to the world, we come into this world and slowly, over the course of time, we become more and more alienated. We become more and more isolated. We become more self-judging. And this is the mental health crisis. You know, the mental health crisis is people's minds being oriented onto a vision of who they should be, but it's not right, because who we should be is just a construct. We already are something. You know, I already am something. And off-key, not off-key, whether it looks good on TV, whether it doesn't, I deserve to sing. I deserve the right to be able to sing whenever, however I want. I deserve the right to put it up on YouTube and have it be met with love. And at this moment, I think there's such a deprivation of that love within us. There's such a deprivation of our own self-love and our love for each other that we're cruel to one another. And we don't have to be. And I think where it starts is being kinder to ourselves, and beginning to question some of those thoughts that go on in there, beginning to see those patterns of idealism, see those patterns of fear, and really question whether or not we really want to follow that. You know, where does that come from? Did a teacher or a parent tell you that you were dumb? You know, and why did they tell you that? Does that really reflect on who you are, on what you're capable of? Or does that reflect on that person's belief systems based on what they were taught, based on what they fear? You know, if we keep perpetuating fear and perpetuating idealism, then fear and idealism is all that we're ever going to get. But if we start taking massive, authentic, real, emotional action, something just as simple as making a video of yourself doing something that you vowed you would never share with the world, something that you keep behind closed doors, something that you won't show people, something that is and will be imperfect, something that doesn't belong on TV because that's not what they want on TV, then that's what changes the world. You know, if we were all to go out there and just be a little more honest, a little more authentic, take a little bit more of the mask off, let our faces be seen, let our emotions be seen, let everything be seen, then I think we would be able to create a world for young people today, especially, where they can get closer and closer to each other, where they can get more and more inspired, where they can just start off from their childhood and live their entire life becoming better and better at making a difference in the world, becoming more and more in touch with what's in here, instead of slowly becoming alienated from it. And I think that's in all of our hands, and I feel really responsible for it now. I can't believe how much of an impact this has had on me, and I hope it's had the same impact on you. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be able to share this. I mean, the internet's a beautiful thing, YouTube's a beautiful thing, my community, my blog, everything, like my Facebook page, the group, the self-love group. It's amazing that you're here just watching this, taking the time to really let this soak in. And I hope that, first of all, if this resonates with you, then please share it. And second of all, I hope that you will share it with more than just the people who are going to agree. And that's something that I'm vowing to do, continuing from this, because at the moment of this video, of the making of this video, all the book reviews of my book, The Love Mindset, on Amazon are positive. And, that's really good, but it also means that I haven't let myself be exposed enough, that I have this message that I really want to bring to the world, but I haven't really let the world see it. Because when you really let something out there to a general public, you do get negative feedback. And I think what happens is that when we only share with people who agree with us, or who are on the brink of agreeing with us, it feels really good for us, and it's a great place to start. But what about the people who aren't ready to hear it? If somebody's got a shield and walls around their authentic self, then dropping this video off, or dropping a book off, or just saying something really kind, doing something really unconditionally kind for that person, you might be met with total rejection in that moment, right? But if that person ever disassembles the wall around themselves, then what you've left there, that's waiting for them. That's waiting for them in a time of epiphany. That's going to help them celebrate that moment. So I really hope that you'll share that with people who aren't ready, because that definitely happened to me when I was really blocked off, when I was living in my own suffering world. People did try to be kind to me. I mean, I had friends that were trying to be kind to me for years, and I just rejected them and rejected them. People who don't speak to me now, who don't believe that I've changed, who don't believe that I'm a different person, because they gave me everything they had. But you know what? When my inner walls fell down, and I went out there and I had my big epiphany, and I smelt the fresh air from the prison inside of my own mind, the messages of those people were waiting there. The words of those people were waiting there. The actions of those people were waiting there, waiting to teach me what I was capable of, waiting to teach me what people were capable of. And it did matter. Even if in the moment their kind words weren't well received, imagine if those people hadn't even tried, had walked away. Then I would have had nobody to learn from. So I think it's important that we continue to share, even with people who criticize, even with people who don't agree, even with people who you're like, oh wow, that person doesn't need to hear that. But I think everybody needs to hear it. We all need a little more authenticity in our lives. And I think you'd be surprised that the people who seem the most confident, who seem the most self-assured, who seem like self-love is something that they just don't need. They don't need that kind of crap. They just need science. They just need data. They just want to hear the important stuff and nothing else. I think you'd be surprised that those people are suffering from a lack of self-love the most. That those people have a profound sense of self-judgment more than most people that you've met. So that's my goal, to start putting myself out there and just fulfill my responsibility as a human being to help all of us become more authentic, to help all of us be more honest with ourselves and with each other about what the real human experience is like, because life is already a certain way, and what I experience behind closed doors is the same as what you experience behind closed doors. So why are we sitting there behind closed doors, not telling each other about it, feeling bad about ourselves? I'm coming out, I'm coming out of this of all of the closets that I've locked myself into. I don't want to hide physically, I don't want to hide emotionally, I don't want to hide the things that I'm bad at. And I hope that you'll join me on that, because it's really liberating and it's really scary, but it's also really important. And it's really a chance for all of us to change the world in our own little way. You know, you don't have to do anything gigantic to change the world. You just have to go out there and be yourself, regardless of what TV tells you to be, regardless of what your parents have told you to be, regardless of what he or she or they have told you that you are or you aren't. And by going out there and just being it, even though it's scary, that changes the world. And that is what I hope people join me in doing, and I think that's so important. And thank you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and thank you for considering my message. And I hope that that really leads you to good places inside of you and in your relationships. Okay? Thank you. Bye.